Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of User Brain. User Brain was created with the purpose to make you think outside of the box. No comments will be deleted, no repost will be flagged as copyright. We kindly ask you to only write in the description that you are not the owner of the video, and no edits will be infringement. So, today we're going to cover a new topic. Of course, we will always cover new topics. We will try our best to not go back to the past and to keep moving towards the future. And the new topic is regarding one person that you might know or you might not know. If you do not know him, you can go and search in Google, YouTube, or whatever social media you have, and you will surely 100% find out who he is. And if you do know him, welcome. We're going to be covering the Matrix. Is Andrew Tate Matrix a real thing, or is it all fake? Is it part of just a marketing strategy, or is it something that exists for real? I actually lit my cigar way before today. Now it turned back off, but I will turn it back on again. Meanwhile, like I like to say, you can start using your brain. And this is by no means something that you should take as an insult. I just want you to start thinking about this specific topic and come to your own conclusions. And we can have an open debate here in the comment section. I invite everybody to write what they think. I will be looking at it and I will be commenting also. And we can just start thinking outside of the box, watching new perspective in all topics, or watching new perspective in new topics, or old perspective in new topics and new topics. Who knows? What I want, I would really like it for you to participate in this. So, the other day I was watching Andrew Tate, was trying to come to my own conclusions about what I think about him. And one of the things that I heard him mention a lot is that he's trying to fight the Matrix. If you do not know what the Matrix is, I highly recommend you to go and watch the movie. If you have no time to watch the movie, you can just Google it and you can understand what it is. Anyway, as I was hearing him say that we have to fight the Matrix, I was thinking, but we know what the Matrix is just because of the film. But is it something that really does exist? And I started to analyze it from different points, different perspectives. I started to travel through the entire universe with the power of my mind, with the power of imagination, which is something that you can do. You can travel to the longest, to the furthest, not longest, furthest star with your brain, with your mind, with your imagination. You can imagine how it is. There's a probability you will be right. There's a probability you will be wrong. Who knows? But you can do it. You can go as far as you want with your imagination. There are no limits there. So, as I started to travel through the stars, through the universe with my imagination, I came to a really particular, not conclusion, but to a really particular statement. Since the day we were born, since the day we came to Earth, we have been living in the Matrix. Why, you will say? Because we experience something as vast as the universe, as complex as existence itself, through five senses. So think about it for a moment. The universe, existence itself, so big, we cannot yet understand how big it is. So vast, we cannot yet understand which are the limits. And we have five senses, five or six or seven, I don't know how many you believe in. But I think that scientifically we have five or six. Five. The sixth one will be the third eye, which many of you might not be might not think is real. So we will keep it to the five scientific senses, or the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, the sense of touch, the sense of taste, and of course, the ability to see. So we translate a part, minuscule part of the information that there is in the universe with these five senses, and we make judgments about existence itself only with the information we get from these five senses, right? So that takes us to the point that since the day we are born, we are already in the matrix, because nothing that we will ever experience will be the truth. Nothing that we will ever experience will be what it should in reality be. It will be always limited. So it means we will should take the pill again to wake up. And who knows what waking up for real really means. So when I came to this particular statement, I started to think, well, if science is the were born, we're already living in the matrix, then what matrix should we really get outside of? Then I came to another amazing statement, which is something that maybe most of you have never talked about. And that statement is that there are layers to the matrix. So there is a matrix, and there is another matrix on top of that, and then there is another, and it goes like a pyramid. But I'm pretty sure it is never ending. There's no ends to the amount of matrix that there are. There's no end to the amount of matrices that we're experiences, and it just takes some time for you to really grasp what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say. But I will try my best to explain to you here. So we're born in the matrix, right? Because our senses are taking a minuscule amount of information, and we're making a reality about that information, which is not the entirety of it. So it is already a kind of dream. We're not experiencing the truth of what we should experience. Then you have another matrix, which is the social matrix. Means that what we have built in this society, or beliefs, or morals, or ethics, everything. That's the second matrix. Because first you had the senses. Now you're creating judgments with those senses, and you're creating a reality from those senses, and you're giving limits to that reality. You're creating what is bad, what is good. You're creating what you think to be a fact, and what you think to be an opinion. And we're creating all these things in our society, right? Which is interesting. I find everything interesting because everything is interesting. So now we're in the second layer of the matrix, which is the social aspect of the matrix, right? Then we can take it to the next level, which is the moral ladder of the matrix, or the next level with the moral aspects. We decide within our social community, like I said before, what is good and what is wrong. So now we have created a society, which means we're living with each others. We have rules that we should obey, and rules that we think should not be there, and we have our space that should be considered in some amount of freedom of thought. It should be considered your right. So you also have the right to do certain things, and you have the right to obey the law also, because it will take us to a better future. Then, like I said, we have the moral matrix. We have decided what is good and what is wrong. Of course, one of the first things that is wrong is killing your own kind, right? Killing humans, eating humans, whatever is related to another person of your same species is in fact something that is wrong. Of course, it depends on you. If you think the opposite, well, I don't think there is that much space in current society for you, because there are rules that punish the killing of humans, and the eating of other humans. But at least I can say that some of you might think that it is a good thing to not kill other human beings. It's a bad thing to kill other human beings. So we have now added another layer to the matrix. So we were born with limited amount of tools to understand our universe. We were born in a matrix. Then we built on top of that matrix a society, which is the second level of what would be the matrix. We have built a place with certain rules for us to be able to continue to procreate and take us to the next level. And then we have built another layer of matrix that takes us to what is good and what is bad, not only inside of society, but on a universal scale, right? So that's interesting. We can keep moving up and up and up, or down and down and down. It depends. It doesn't have a direction. I think it's the layers of the matrix are omnidirectional. It all depends on what's your perspective. But I really do think that the first layer of the matrix is our senses. The amount of senses you have since the day you are born are the senses that will allow you to experience the universe. The more senses you have, the more of it you will be able to experience and to judge. The less senses you have, the less of it, in consequence, that you will be able to experience and to judge. But of course, experiencing the universe itself is already enough, right? Even if you don't have this sense of a smell and you don't have this sense of hearing, or you don't have this sense of looking at something, of sight, I might say, you're already if you're alive, that is already being part of the, I don't know, but I really think it's a really minuscule percentage of the universe that has this this add-on, let's say, that is having life. So in my opinion, the matrix is something real. The matrix is something real that is not only applied to the way Andrew Tate speaks and to the things that Andrew Tate is saying, but it can be applied to many, many other aspects of life and existence itself. So we're going to look at Andrew Tate's right now. He's talking about the matrix, but he's talking about the matrix that has been built by the society. So that second layer that what I was talking about, the social matrix, right? Is the social matrix real? For me, it is, because it is another layer of limits that we have placed on top of the limits we already had, where we had limits that were given to us and the since the day we were born, and we added more limits that could guide us to creating a better place for everybody and everything inside this so-called society. So he's saying that we have to defeat the matrix, that in today's society we have lost what would be called, in my opinion, the natural balance of things, because we have men that are becoming more feminine, we have women that are becoming more masculine, and I have to say right away, this is not meant to insult anybody, this is not meant to hate on any gender, this is not meant to provoke any kind of hate speech. This is only made for us to have an open debate on a subject and to speak freely about something. If you haven't watched my video about freedom, I recommend you to watch it, because freely and freedom are really specific topics. But I think that right now, under the circumstances that I am, under the circumstances of my imagination, my memory, my initial point, I would like to speak freely about these topics, right? So he's saying that these things are changing and that is not right, that this will probably have bad results in the future. It has not been tested, which is something that, of course, um, depends on your point of view. But he's right in the point that when he says that things are changing, and things are always changing, right? And he's a really traditional man. He would like to go back to what tradition is, because tradition is what works. And you might say no, you might say yes. But we will look more into this, right? Yes or no? Give me a second. You can start thinking by yourself meanwhile. So, tradition, tradition. I will use the term tradition. I will modify a little bit because I don't think it uh, fit perfectly what we're trying to say right now. I think he's trying to speak more about the natural way things has always been, and I do think that there is something right in the things he's saying. The natural way of things are the things are is the way that made us arrive here. The natural balance of things, but I do have a different opinion regarding to the changes that we're experiencing right now. And I would like to first start by saying that changes will always happen. Changes are something that you cannot avoid changes. In fact, it is one of the rules of thermodynamics. Of course, the universe goes in direction of entropy, so everything tends to go to chaos, right? Nothing stays the same. Things go tend to go for disorder. But what is really interesting is that when things try to go to disorder, there's always something external, internal, we don't know it, that made them find the balance. The universe, it's balanced. Things always tend to go to balance. Disorder is the natural way of things, but there's always something that searches balance. We have yin and yang, right? Which is something we will leave for another day. So, is it wrong? Is it right that men are becoming more feminine and girls might be becoming more masculine? Is it wrong that men today are weak physically but strong mentally? Who knows? Or that they are weak mentally but strong physically? Is it right? Is it wrong? Well, first of all, I think that we have to start from today's society. If you live in a country where there is a high amount of violence, I do think that having the ability to defend your family, to defend your friends, and not depending only on police that can arrive 1 hour later, or 1 hour and a half later, or 30 minutes later, or 15 minutes, we don't know. I think it is an advantage. So the men do it or the woman do it is an open debate. I do think, because I feel it as a man, I do feel it. I genuinely feel this inside me. I can analyze it also from a mental perspective, and I do find it right that I have the mission, that is a purpose of my existence, to defend the things that I think not, I don't want to say belong to me, but that are on my interest or on my personal interest. I do think that I have the mission to do that. I do feel it. If you were close to me and you were to mess up with my girlfriend, or you were going to mess up with my mother or my sister or whoever it is from my family or a close friend, I will automatically get into defending them. It will be instinctively. I will not even have to think about it, right? I will think about it after I have defended them. If you are screaming at them, I will stand in the middle. I will try to talk to you to make you lower your tone of voice so we can speak as two civilized human beings, right? Or we'll light it up later. But I do think that I do have the mission to act in this way. Maybe you are at the same gender that I am, and you identify as the same gender that I am, but you do not feel this. You might be different, but the natural way things were way before, the things that allow us to survive until today, are things that I genuinely think that we should not forget. I am not saying that they cannot change. I think that there are things that we should not forget, and we should definitely not throw away. So we should be looking into implementing these things in the changes we're going to make in our society, right? Instead, for me personally, of forgetting the way traditional masculinity used to be, we can implement traditional masculinity in our new society. Traditional masculinity in the old school times might have been aggressive, might have been that a man had to be in control of everything. Today's society might not want these things. Today's society might want to take these things away, to throw them away. But I don't think we should look into throwing them away. I think we should just transform what is not going well and keep the things that were going well. Why should you change something that is going well? Why should you change something that has worked? The only reason you can change something that has worked is to improve it, or either because you don't want things to work. So, I genuinely do think that things are not going in the right direction. Why I do think that things are not going in the right direction? Because there's too much confusion. People don't know anymore what they should do. People don't know anymore where they should go. People don't know anymore what they are. Before, you could answer this question, and I'm not talking about your perceived reality. I'm talking about I will say in this moment science. I will use the term science, right? Because science is something that can be proved. The moment we throw science away and everything becomes a thing of perspective, how do I look at things? Then there's no direction. There's no place to go. There will only be chaos. Because thought, when you think, there's something that changes from one moment to the other. So if we live in a world where everybody can be everything they want, I can choose to be whatever I want, I can choose to be called whatever I want, then how do I know what is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? We, as human beings, having limited senses in a limitless universe, we need to have direction. If we do not have direction, then our senses work for nothing. Senses are here to make us understand at least a part of the information that is in the universe. Now we're taking this information and we're not using it. We're throwing it away. We're saying it doesn't matter. I can just believe whatever I want. Yes, the water cycle is real. But no, I just want to believe that it is the magical powers that are giving us rain. So I can, in consequence, use the environment however I want. I can contaminate water because it doesn't matter. It's the universal powers that give us the rain. So the rain will always be clean. No, if you contaminate water, eventually rain will become. I forgot the term for that. I think it's acid rain, right? We will start to have acid rain, and that's harmful to us, not only to you but to me and to animals and to plants. If you contaminate the planet, you will feel the backlash of it. So there are things that are fact. There are some things that can be proven, and some things that we should not ignore. And in these things, we have the natural way human beings were bred into the planet, the natural way we grew. This does not mean I cannot like someone from my same sex. This does not mean that I cannot identify myself as something else. What it does means is that there are scientific things that we can prove that we should not ignore and that we should not change if they work. We should only change them if we can improve them. But this improvement should have a goal, should have a place that it is taking us to, and should not be chaos, which is what I see today in today's society. So I give you some time to digest that as I try to light up my cigar again. So, what type of chaos do I see in today's society? We're in a society where believing what you want to believe and behaving in the way that goes towards your belief has become mainstream. And the fact is that there's no limit to belief, right? There's no limit to any kind of beliefs. And because there is no limit to any kind of belief, we have people behaving in all different kinds of way. We don't know anymore where we're going. We don't know anymore where this will take us. And I think that even if the universe itself goes into entropy, that we should at least for what should be a good future try to find some order or to make things in an order way so we at least know where we're going. This chaos that we're experiencing right now has nothing to do with being homosexual, has nothing to do with being transgender, has nothing to do with all of these things. It has to do with the fact that people's sensibility is so high that you cannot speak about anything without being taken out of context, without being hated on, and all this hate is guiding society against itself. Is guiding you against me, me against you, which I do not believe. I'm not against anybody. I'm not against anything. Well, not exactly not against anything, but at least not against people that have an opinion different than mine. Of course, as long as it does not changes my current state of freedom, then I have no problem with what you think. It's fine. But if your thoughts are directly um, punishing my current state of freedom, which your talks, of course, only cannot do. But if your talks are guiding you into making actions that are um, reducing my freedom, reducing the way I can express myself, I can behave, where I can go, or what I can do, then there is something that is definitely not right, at least in my perspective. So, the more we go into this path, the more chaos there will be. The more chaos there is, the more control we will give away to the people that are in control of our society. Why? Because when there is chaos, people only want peace. And if you can offer that peace of that or that sense of peace, then you can control everybody. That is something that is going on right now. I do not want to say the name of that pandemic, but you know the pandemic that we just had right now. Maybe you believe in it, maybe you don't. I will not go into the terms. But there was a lot of chaos. And to find peace, we needed to go into certain rules that maybe didn't like, and maybe some part of it. And I can say maybe the most part of it did like and did approve. And the rules, where these rules to find peace took us? It took us to less freedom. Took took us to the point that we could not even leave our houses. So the more chaos there is, the more you will give control to other people over you. If there is order, if you know where you're going, if you know how things should go, then they cannot control you because you have your eyes on a target. You know where the target is. It is visible, is measurable, is achievable, and anything else that goes outside that target for you, it might not be something that you should not approve. Let's say so. Chaos will only ruin everything. And I really do think that Andrew Tate is trying to make something good. Andrew Tate is trying to bring back order. Andrew Tate is trying to bring peace in middle of the chaos that we're experiencing before it is too late, before somebody else brings the peace in a way that we do not like it and we do not enjoy it. But when that happens, it will be already too late. There are many ways you can bring peace in today's society. It's just talking about one of the ways that you can do it, is focusing on helping men and women understand the natural roles. And like he has said also, and like I say, this does not mean that we hate homosexual or that you cannot be homosexual, that you cannot like your gender or that you cannot change your gender. This has nothing to do with it. Nothing. It has something to do with bringing order in a world that is filled of chaos. In a world that we have children growing up, not knowing what they are, not knowing where they are going, not knowing what they can do, because they are so confused. There's so much information coming inside that they are overstimulated by all this information, right? So there is a lot of chaos, and they might find the wrong messiah to take them in the wrong path that will take us to the future of a ruined society. They might find the right messiah, the right message that can help them find their goal, their objective, and move towards that. So, in my opinion, Andrew Tate Matrix is real. To just escape the Matrix, well, depends on you. Will I escape the Matrix? Well, depends on me. But I do think it's real. I do think that right now, the current state that we have, the world, we need to find direction. We need to get outside of this chaos of information. And for that, we need more of this. We need more places, more secure places where people can sit and think outside of the box and come with new solutions and unique solutions that are unique to them and that have not been taught to them by somebody else. The more we get about of this, the more we get people thinking outside of the box, the more we will have chances that people find their own way. And if in most of the cases, their own way will be the way that is in the direction of the natural course of things, because nature itself has balanced itself in a way that we might never be able to do it artificially. The planet is balanced in a way that we might not be able to recreate it. But does it mean that we should follow the balance? I do think that we should. You think so? Who knows? But the matrix is real. You have to decide. You're going to do something about it, or if you do not care, and you will just live inside it, experience it, and go the same direction other people tell you to go.